This was just handed to me during the break. I'm going to put all sorts of caveats on it. It's from our friends over at the Daily Wire. It seems like a typo to me, not by the Daily Wire, but by Brian Kohlberger's lawyer. But I'll read you what they're reporting. The headline is, suspected Idaho killer requests documents related to, quote, co-defendant, who has never been mentioned by police. I'll read to you from the report. This week, Kohlberger's public defender, Ann Taylor, filed motions requesting, quote, any written or recorded statements by a co-defendant and the substance of any relevant oral statement made by a co-defendant, whether before or after arrest in response to interrogation by any person known by the co-defendant to be a peace officer or agent of the prosecuting attorney, etc. Okay. And then, Marcia, and as you know, that this particular defendant previously asked members of law enforcement if they had arrested anyone else in connection with this crime. I gotta say, this sounds like a typo, like a cut and paste by a busy public defender. But what do you think, Mark?
Well, I was just going to say, normally I would say in a vacuum, I would agree with you. I'd say it's a boilerplate discovery request, cut and paste, as you say, that went out there. However, put this next to, and this is why I'm fascinated, I want to see what Marcia has to say about this. There was a sealing order on a search warrant, and the sealing order had language that I have frankly never seen, or I can't remember ever having seen, which was part of it was they did not want law enforcement to be exposed to threats or intimidation and expose the investigation. Now, exposing the investigation, I've come across a zillion times. That's standard operating procedure. Threats to law enforcement leads me to believe that there is something that apparently they missed, or a thread that they missed, or didn't, or got out in front of their skis. Remember, the officers had said, we're 100% certain this is the guy, nobody else. I think there is a suspicion that there is somebody else or someone else in the mix.
Whoa. Marcia, let me read what Mark's referring to, just to color it in for the audience. This is the search warrant for Brian Kohlberger's Washington State apartment, which has been temporarily sealed. That's been sealed. They haven't shared with us the search warrant. They've shared with us the affidavit that was in support of the arrest warrant, and it was very detailed. But for some reason, they're sealing the search warrant for the guy's apartment, which was requested on the same day as the arrest warrant, December 30th. But now we see why they're sealing it. They say, and this is going to remain sealed until March 1st, potentially earlier, but as of March 1st for now. This is what they said in asking for the sealing, prosecutors and police. Premature public disclosure of the details in this law enforcement investigation will create serious and imminent threat to effective law enforcement and could result in the premature end of this investigation, which could create a threat to public safety. What are your thoughts?
I think there are many. What Mark has said is a potential, but let me tell you about some of the background in the development of this case. This case kind of went crazy on social media, and a lot of people were in there speculating about others that may be involved, and then out and out dogpiling these people with no evidence, nothing but speculation, imagination, and just putting together 2 + 2 and equaling 8. And so some very innocent people got dogpiled for at least a few moments on the internet. And by moments, that could be days, I'm not sure. So it has been going kind of in its way viral. And people looking for attention, which always happens on the internet, are coming out spewing all of these theories about who might have done it and why they did it. And that is a danger to any investigation. It's a danger to law enforcement because it encourages people to come forward who really have nothing relevant to say. It discourages people from coming forward who actually have something important to say. And it, of course, might subject law enforcement themselves to all kinds of threats and horrible responses on the internet. This has become now a force in our criminal justice system. It lurks around the edges, and sometimes it even invades to the middle. So we have a very serious problem with that. And I think that sealing would be an appropriate way of tamping it down. You just don't want to let out information that could be the way you catch a liar or the way you spot the truth. Those details are the way you test what witnesses say. And if you let those details out, you run a very real risk of skewing the investigation.
But Mark, don't you think, I mean, the warrant in support of affidavit in support of the arrest warrant is 18 pages long. We have so many details from that. Why allow that one out into the public domain, but not this one?
Well, I don't disagree with you at all. I was speculating, and that's all we do here, I guess, but I was speculating that the defense might have requested that remain sealed. But the cynic in me thinks that because the officers in the police department had taken so much heat, as Marcia describes it, that they wanted to show, and I believe it was the chief, had indicated that once it was unsealed, they would be vindicated, so to speak. And I suppose that's one explanation. I still think there's something else going on here. I suspect that there is another source profile of DNA or something else that was found at the scene. I just don't think, when you take a look at the timeline of this, and you know that there is a DoorDash driver there at 4 a.m., and you know that there is a spotting by DM, as they call the person in the affidavit, of somebody in the hallway. There's just, I believe that there is more here than meets the eye, and we're just not going to see it. And I think it's one of the reasons that the defense so readily said they would waive time until June on their speedy trial rights of the preliminary hearing.
Did you know your internet service provider knows literally everything you do online? How about that? Well, you have got to check out private internet access. These days, getting on the internet without a VPN is a risky business. Internet service providers are tracking your every move. They're looking at you. Big companies are profiting off of you. Cyber criminals are trying to steal your data. Jeez. Maybe at this point you're thinking, wait, what's a VPN? How's it going to prevent all that? A VPN is a virtual private network. That means private internet access encrypts your internet activity and disguises your online identity, making it more difficult for third parties to track your activities online and steal your data. Private internet access, a VPN, hides your IP address and encrypts your internet connection. This way, you're in control of your data and your digital life is shielded from all the rude snoopers. Plus, they have apps for all operating systems and they're really user-friendly. So if you want to enjoy all the benefits of private internet access, now is the time to subscribe. Go to piavpn.com/Megyn, piavpn.com/Megyn, and get an 83% discount. 83%. That's just $2.03 a month to protect yourself. And you also get 4 extra months completely free. But you must go to piavpn.com/Megyn for a truly private digital life. One last time, piavpn.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.